Discover the incredible journey of change, 30 days to transform your life in heartwarming ways. Sarah felt a jolt in her chest as she read the flyer, 30 days to transform your life. It seemed to promise everything she desperately needed: hope, connection, a spark of joy. If only it were that simple. The weight of bills piled high on the kitchen table mirrored the heavy burden on her heart. With each passing day, she felt more disconnected from her spirited 10-year-old daughter, Lily. Their modest home echoed with laughter but was tinged with the bitter tension of unrealized dreams and unspoken fears. As a single mother juggling 2 part-time jobs, every day was a relentless battle. Sarah rose before dawn, worn down by late nights at the diner where she served endless cups of coffee to weary customers. Every shift blurred into the next, leaving little energy for the soft, reassuring hugs Lily craved. The glow of the television flickered in the background as Sarah microwaved leftovers, the hum of familiarity a soothing distraction yet a constant reminder of unfulfilled aspirations. One evening, while dropping Lily off at the community center for a craft workshop, a colorful flyer caught her eye: a window of opportunity. Could this be what they needed? The thought of committing to another obligation made her stomach twist. Yet she watched Lily's bright eyes, her excitement palpable, and felt the pull to invest in a better future for both of them. Taking a deep breath, she folded the flyer and tucked it into her bag. The program began the following week. Each day was a whirlwind of team-building exercises and self-exploration, lifting Sarah's spirits while also dragging some painful memories to the surface. Every time she shared her story, she felt the void of her father's absence more acutely. Yet, alongside her journey of self-improvement, she noticed Lily growing more withdrawn. Tucked away in the corner of the playground, her daughter found solace in old Mr. Thompson, the neighbor who regaled her with stories of his youth during the war. Their friendship offered Lily a sense of belonging that Sarah worried she was failing to provide. Before she could fully grasp her growth, the universe reminded Sarah how fragile everything could be. One chilly afternoon, her car sputtered and came to a halt. Panic surged as she imagined the worst: no car meant no job. The financial storm clouds began to gather, casting shadows on the small triumphs she had achieved in the previous weeks. Could she handle it? Would a community that once felt supportive still be there if she faltered? Amidst this chaos, Sarah took a deep breath and, with a trembling heart, shared her struggles at a community event. The crowd fell silent, hanging on her every word as she spoke of her fears and exhaustion. A palpable empathy spread among neighbors, igniting sparks of understanding that opened arms when she least expected it. "This is why we're here," one of them called out, a neighbor Sarah barely knew. "We lift each other up." Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With the outpouring of support, Sarah felt a flicker of resolve, but doubt lingered like a stubborn cloud. Could this glimmer of hope hold? Could she bridge the widening gap between herself and Lily for good? As their journey unfolded, the defining question loomed: could hard work, a little guidance, and a community of familiar faces illuminate a path toward faith in themselves, together? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm amber light through the window, Sarah sat at the kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a cup of steaming tea. The familiar clinking of Lily's paintbrush against the glass jar made her smile. With intense focus, her daughter was absorbed in a new project, one that Mr. Thompson had suggested, painting a mural of a garden filled with flowers and butterflies. Watching her work, Sarah felt a bittersweet tug. Joy bloomed in seeing Lily express herself, but there was a deep ache in knowing she might be missing out on her daughter's childhood. Was she giving her daughter the life she wanted, or merely a life of survival? The questions nagged at her, each one sharp enough to draw blood. That weekend, motivated by the support she received at the community event, Sarah decided to make a change. She dusted off her old sketchbook, its pages filled with forgotten dreams and half-finished drawings. It had been years since she last held a pencil, but the program had ignited something inside her. Why not share this passion with Lily? Perhaps painting together could be their way of reconnecting. "Hey sweetheart," Sarah called softly, her voice tentative but filled with determination. "How about I help you with your mural?" Lily's bright head whipped around, her eyes sparkling with surprise and excitement. "Really, Mom? You want to paint with me?" Sarah nodded, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. Through laughter and shared strokes of paint, they transformed the wall into a vibrant display of their combined imaginations. As they painted flowers and whimsical trees, Sarah felt the invisible thread between them strengthen. They were no longer just living under the same roof, they were creating a world together, filling it with color and light, yet, as the days turned into weeks, the reality of their situation loomed closer. The car didn't just need repairs, bills were piling up, and the uncertainty of their financial future felt like a boulder on Sarah's shoulders. Confronting old fears was one thing, navigating the daily pressures was another. In the quiet moments after painting, her thoughts spiraled back to stress point. One evening, while Lily was tucked in bed, Sarah pulled out the flyer once more. In the margins, she scribbled her goals, hopes, and fears. This time, she didn't merely look at the message promising transformation. She began to visualize what she truly wanted out of life. Digging deep, she realized she longed for not only stability but also a sense of adventure, to be the mother Lily deserved. But what if she couldn't manage both? The balancing act of dreams and reality weighed heavier than ever. Just as she was about to close the sketchbook, Sarah heard a gentle knock on the doorframe. It was Lily, her small figure silhouetted against the soft glow of the hallway light. "Can we paint some more tomorrow?" she asked, her voice sleepy but hopeful. Sarah's heart softened. "Absolutely, sweet girl." But lingering doubts shadowed the warmth of their moment. How could they sustain this closeness in the chaos that encircled their lives? The next morning, new complications emerged. The car repairs would cost more than anticipated, and the tension of the bills cut deep. Her resolve shook. Could this creative spark really keep them afloat through the storms? Just when Sarah thought she was losing her grip again, she remembered the unity of the community. With renewed determination, she reached for her phone to call Mr. Thompson. "I need your advice," she said, her voice steady despite the whirlpool of uncertainty inside her. The conversation revealed not just advice, but connections, an old friend who could help, resources Sarah hadn't known existed. With hope weaving through her fears, she dared to step forward. But the question lingered, heavy yet illuminating: would finding help reveal more than just solutions, but the true backbone of her and Lily's journey? The next morning greeted Sarah with a faded reminder of her worries. The bills cluttered the kitchen table like a chaotic canvas, each envelope a vivid stroke of anxiety. She could feel her heart racing as she sorted through them, the stack growing taller with each new debt. But today was different. Today, she had a plan. Determined to confront the financial chaos, she spent the morning working on Lily's mural with gusto. With every stroke of the brush, she poured her emotions into the colors, hoping to banish her fears to the corners of the room. "What if we add a butterfly here?" Lily suggested, pointing to a patch of empty wall. Sarah smiled, grateful for the distraction. Together, they shaped a vibrant garden that spoke of hope and resilience. As they painted, Sarah shared snippets about what she had learned from Mr. Thompson. "I reached out, and he told me about a community resource center in town," she explained, her voice tinged with excitement. "They help people like us get back on track." Lily's eyes lit up. "Will they help with the car, too?" "Yes, they might," Sarah replied, her heart swelling with pride at her daughter's optimism. After finishing their painting session, Sarah decided to visit the center. She exchanged a few lively words with Lily, who was just as eager to see what help was available. As they drove to the center, the two shared laughter and even more dreams for their mural. Sarah's heart felt lighter, swept away by the potential of the day. The community center was a hive of activity. Sarah's heart raced, both with anticipation and a flicker of doubt. What if they told her it was pointless? But as she stepped inside, surrounded by warmth and friendly faces, a wave of reassurance washed over her. The atmosphere was electric with possibilities. It felt like home. After meeting a counselor, Sarah was pointed toward an array of programs that offered more than just assistance. They discussed workshops on financial literacy and employment skills. For the first time in a long while, Sarah felt hope swelling in her chest. This was the kind of support she'd been yearning for, a bridge over the chaos she faced. Later, she returned home, bursting with new ideas to implement. She and Lily could attend family workshops together. They could learn how to budget for their dreams while staying focused on the present. "Mom, look at the mural!" Lily exclaimed, standing back to admire their creation. It was a lively explosion of colors and shapes. "It looks amazing." "Yes, it does," Sarah echoed, her smile bright and genuine. Their creation was a testament to their resilience and a symbol of their journey together, but suddenly, the wave of uncertainty crept back. The newfound hope clashed with the stark reality of their situation. Could these changes truly lead to something sustainable? What if the old pressures settled in again? Questions swirled in her mind, but they were not entirely dark. Just then, Lily tugged at her hand, pulling her from her thoughts. "Mom, can we sell some of the paintings we've made?" A mix of emotions flooded Sarah: pride, worry, and a spark of inspiration. Could they share their art with the community? Could this be not just a personal journey but a communal one? "Let us start with a small art show," Sarah proposed, the idea surprising even her. Lily's eyes gleamed with excitement. "Like a gallery?" "Yes. We'll invite everyone from the community center, the friends we've made," she said, feeling bold as her heart raced with the thrill of possibility. But would they be ready for the public's gaze? Could their art hold enough weight to support them both? As Sarah squeezed Lily's hand, she felt the thrill of the unknown ahead. Could this be the opportunity that truly changes everything? "Tomorrow, we start planning," Sarah declared, a determined light in her eyes. But as they settled down for the evening, the whisper of doubt lingered. Could sharing their dreams with others bring them the change they needed? Only time would tell. The sun painted a warm glow over Sarah and Lily's small home, hinting at promise as the day of planning arrived. Sarah couldn't shake the flutter of nerves in her stomach, but anticipation brewed just beneath the surface. She inhaled deeply, her resolve to follow through brightening her spirit. "Are we ready?" Lily asked, bouncing slightly in her chair at the kitchen table, eyes sparkling like stars. Her enthusiasm was infectious and it pulled Sarah from her swirling thoughts. "We're more than ready." Sarah straightened the stack of papers in front of her. She had spent the late hours sketching ideas for their art show, titles, possible dates, and even potential snacks. "Let us make this fun." Lily clapped her hands. "Can we make cookies for everyone?" "Of course. Cookies are a must." As they brainstormed, the kitchen filled with color. Each new idea transformed into vibrant words on paper, weaving a tapestry of hope and excitement. Sarah felt as if she were painting not just a mural on the wall, but one on their lives, a canvas for renewal. The doorbell rang, startling Sarah. It was Mr. Thompson, carrying a big smile. "I heard about your art show. How can I help?" "Oh, wow. We're just getting started," Sarah replied, heart racing with gratitude. His support meant more than he could know. "Would you be willing to come and share your story with everyone? I think it could really inspire people." "Absolutely. I'd love to," he said enthusiastically. Lily jumped in, "And could you bring your guitar? You can play music while we show our art." Mr. Thompson laughed. "You know what? I'd love to play some tunes." "It sounds like a great plan." As they continued chatting, Sarah's spirit soared. Each person was a thread in the growing tapestry of their community. They discussed logistics, which ranged from setting up the display of paintings to inviting new friends from the center. Organizing the show began to feel less like a daunting task and more like the beautiful thing it could become. As plans solidified, Lily interrupted, "Mom, can we paint the invitations? They should be just as colorful as our art." "That's a perfect idea," Sarah exclaimed. "Let us do it." In the days that followed, Sarah found herself embraced by a whirlwind of activity. They painted invitations together, each one a mini masterpiece. They printed flyers and placed them around the community center, the local library, and nearby coffee shops. Conversations with other local artists sparked excitement. A few even expressed interest in joining their show. As the opening day approached, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. This art show wasn't just about selling paintings. It was a chance to share their story, to show how they had transformed their fears into vibrant expressions of resilience. But what if it fell flat? What if people didn't care? One night, as they painted together, Lily noticed her mother's distracted expression. "Mom, are you worried? You look worried." Sarah let out a small sigh, putting down her brush. "Just the normal nerves, I suppose. But I can't let that spoil this moment. This is our chance." Lily took her mother's hand. "No matter what happens, we're together. And that's what makes it special." With her daughter's resolute confidence, Sarah smiled softly. "You're right, sweet girl. It's about us and the community we're building." As they prepared together, the warmth of connection wrapped around them, even soothing Sarah's most troubled thoughts. But on the eve of the show, as the stars twinkled outside their window, a new wave of doubt clawed at her heart. What if nobody came? What if their art didn't resonate? The questions pounded like a drum, a haunting melody of fear. As sleep hovered nearby, Sarah's heart raced. She was standing at a crossroads where dreams met reality. Would this endeavor really mark the start of their new path, or would it dissolve into the shadows of disappointment? With that thought lingering in her mind, she closed her eyes, succumbing to sleep's embrace, hoping for a brighter tomorrow. What awaited them when the sun rose again? The next morning dawned bright and clear, the sun spilling golden light through the curtains. Sarah awoke with a start, the nervous energy from last night still hanging in the air. She blinked at the ceiling for a moment, letting the day unfold in her mind. Today was the day they had worked so hard for. The art show was finally here. A glance at the clock sent her tumbling out of bed. "Lily. Time to get up." She rushed into the kitchen and began brewing coffee, inhaling the nutty aroma as she pulled out the trays from the night before, each engraved with their colorful masterpieces. The sight made her heart swell, flickers of excitement bubbling within her. Lily stumbled sleepily into the kitchen, hair wild and eyes still half closed. "What is going on, Mom?" "It's showtime, sweetheart." Sarah grinned, handing her a brightly painted invitation. Lily's face lit up, the remnants of sleep fading away as she gazed at the colorful artwork. "Can we have breakfast first?" Lily's stomach growled in response. "Absolutely. Let us whip up a batch of those cookies first. We need the fuel." As they mixed butter and sugar, laughter filled the kitchen. Each scoop of flour carried with it a sprinkle of joy and a dash of nerves. They worked side by side with the rhythm of familiarity, yet this day felt different. It was special. They filled the cookies with chocolate chips, the sweet scent wafting through the house. As they placed the tray in the oven, Sarah snuck a bite of the dough, grinning at Lily. "We might need a quality control check." Lily laughed, taking her cue to join in. They shared a moment, a bond crafted in laughter, hope, and a sprinkle of mischief. With the cookies cooling, Sarah started preparing their art display. Each painting was carefully arranged, with a few personal touches, small stories about what inspired each piece handwritten on tags. She could feel her anxiety creeping back, but she pushed it aside. This was about sharing their journey, their hearts. As they loaded everything into the car, Mr. Thompson showed up right on time. "Need any help?" he asked, his presence instantly easing Sarah's tension. "Yes. Thank you." Together, They carried canvases and baked goods, laughter mixing with the sound of rolling trolleys as they made their way to the community center. The space was fresh and lively, filling with the anticipation of voices and chatter. "Look at this place, Mom!" Lily exclaimed as they stepped inside. The walls were decorated with previous artists' work, but it was now their turn to shine. As they began setting up, Sarah's nerves flared again. What if no one shows up? What if stop? Remember what I said. It's about us, Mom. Lily placed her tiny hand on Sarah's arm, grounding her. Suddenly, Sarah felt the weight lift, and she breathed a little easier. Hours later, with everything ready, they huddled in a corner, waiting. A trickle of visitors started to arrive, friends, neighbors, and even other artists from the local scene. The conversations began to flow like paint on a canvas, but as the clock ticked away, the initial excitement began to dim. Fewer people were filling the room than they had hoped. Doubts filtered back in, like shadows creeping at dusk. What if this was just a mistake? Then a small voice piped up, "Mom, look." Lily pointed excitedly. "There's Mrs. Johnson and some of her friends." "And oh, Mr. Lee." Before Sarah could respond, the atmosphere began to shift. People gathered around their artworks, marveling at the colors and expressions displayed. The laughter and along with thoughtful comments replaced the silence. She felt a warmth spreading through her, igniting a flicker of hope. As the crowd thickened, Sarah caught sight of a little girl standing in front of one of her paintings, her eyes wide with wonder. "Mommy, look! I love it!" The girl's mother knelt beside her, explaining the colors, and they shared a moment of appreciation. Watching them, Sarah's heart swelled with gratitude. This was the impact she had dreamed of. But just then, Mr. Thompson looked over with a serious expression. "Sarah, come here for a second." His voice drew her away from the crowd. "What's up?" He motioned toward a group of people standing back, whispering while pointing toward their display. "I think they're interested in what you've created." But he hesitated, weighing his words. "They seem to want something more." "What do you mean?" Mr. Thompson sighed. "They may be looking to discuss this on a larger platform." Sarah's heart skipped. What did that mean? A new opportunity? But as the thrill of possibility washed over her, a new wave of anxiety gripped her. What if she wasn't ready for that? The moment shimmered with tension as the crowd buzzed louder around them. Could she really step into an even bigger world of art, and would they be ready for what came next? The moment hung there, heavy with unspoken possibilities. Sarah felt a rush of excitement clashing with her gnawing self-doubt. She looked over at Lily, who was happily chatting with Mrs. Johnson about a particularly vibrant painting. The innocence in her daughter's eyes grounded her, reminding her of why she had chosen to pour her heart into art in the first place. "Sarah." Mr. Thompson's voice pierced through her thoughts. "You should go talk to them. You've got something special here." His encouragement ignited a spark of determination. "Okay, I will." Taking a deep breath, Sarah felt her palms grow sweaty, but she squared her shoulders and walked toward the small group of onlookers. Approaching the trio felt like stepping into a spotlight. Each face turned toward her, filled with curiosity and anticipation. "Hello." She managed, trying to keep her voice steady. "Thank you for stopping by." One of the women smiled warmly. "Your work is incredible. It has such depth. We were discussing how it could resonate with a larger audience. We'd love to help you showcase it more widely." Sarah's heart raced. "Really? You think so?" "Absolutely," the woman replied. "We believe it deserves to be seen beyond this community. The right exposure could really take your work far." A mix of emotions surged through Sarah: hope, disbelief, and fear. What if she floundered? What if presenting her art to the world was a mistake? But then, the thought of being able to share her vision with more people urged her forward. "Thank you," she said, her voice gaining strength. "I'd love to know more about how this might work." As they began to discuss details, Sarah couldn't help but glance over to where Lily was still immersed in conversation. The joy on her daughter's face fueled her courage. The rest of the afternoon flew by in a blur of animated conversation, laughter, and a steady stream of visitors. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting golden rays through the community center windows, Sarah felt the warmth of connection wrap around her. They shared stories, insights, and even a few tears of joy with strangers who quickly felt like friends. Suddenly, Mr. Thompson appeared at her side, a wide grin on his face. That was incredible. They were captivated by your passion. You could feel it. I can't believe this is happening, Sarah replied breathlessly. She felt as if she were floating on air, high on possibility. It's just the beginning, he said, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. You're ready for this, and you have so much support. Just look at how the community showed up today. They believe in you. Sarah's heart swelled with a newfound sense of purpose. This wasn't just about showcasing her art, it was about embracing who she was and sharing her story. It was about Lily, about being a role model and showing her daughter that dreams could be pursued. As the crowd began to dissipate, Sarah gathered her things, feeling both exhausted and exhilarated. But her mind raced with fresh ideas, plans for the future, and the thrill of what was to come. Then, just out of the corner of her eye, she spotted a young girl lingering by her paintings. She was back again, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. This time, she was clutching one of the cookies Sarah had baked. Can I take this one home? The girl asked shyly, her grip tightening around the treat. Of course, Sarah replied, her heart melting. But only if you promise to come back and tell me what you think of it tomorrow. Promise. The girl chirped. As she skipped away, Sarah felt a knot of emotion tighten in her throat. It wasn't just about selling art, it was about impacting lives, inspiring others. But just as she turned to leave, Mr. Thompson called out from across the room. Sarah, wait. There is something else you need to see. A sense of foreboding washed over her. What could it be? Her pulse quickened as she followed Mr. Thompson's earnest expression. Was this yet another turning point on an already overwhelming day? What is it? She asked, curiosity mixed with trepidation. You might want to see for yourself. And with that, Sarah stepped forward, her heart racing as uncertainty danced with excitement. What revelation awaited her now? As Sarah followed Mr. Thompson, her mind spun with possibilities and uncertainties. The community center felt more alive than ever, echoing with laughter and the remnants of meaningful connections made that day. Yet, something in Mr. Thompson's tone sent a shiver up her spine. She had just tasted the sweet nectar of success, and the last thing she wanted was another obstacle. He led her to a small side room, slightly dimmer than the bustling main hall. Inside, a group of 4 artists, all people she admired, stood talking quietly, their expressions serious. A flicker of nerves danced in Sarah's stomach. Everyone, this is Sarah, Mr. Thompson introduced her. She's just had her work showcased here today. A tall man with a beard stepped forward. We wanted to talk to you about something important, Sarah. We've been following your journey. Your art has something that strikes a chord. Her cheeks flushed with warmth, uncertainty battling a surge of hope. Thank you. I was just trying to express what I feel. It shows, one of the women said with a nod, a passionate sparkle in her eyes. But that's why we need to discuss a pressing issue. We're organizing a local exhibition, something magical, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. As they spoke of their plans, Sarah's heart raced. An exhibition? This wasn't just a small showcase, it was an opportunity to launch herself into the art world in a way she'd only dreamed of. But, the tall man interrupted gently, the theme we want is about resilience and overcoming adversity. We want raw, real pieces that tell a story. We think your pieces could fit perfectly, but there's a catch. Sarah felt her joy dampen. A catch? What was the catch? Each artist must create a new piece by the end of next month, he explained. Something that will push you, that challenges your creative boundaries. Creating something fresh. She had barely processed the success of today, and now she was being asked to leap into another creation, another chance to bear her soul d'amour. Thompson must have sensed her hesitation. Sarah, this could be a chance to share your journey, everything you've been through and how it shaped your art. It'll allow you to reach a wider audience and touch more lives. But what if it's not good enough, she asked, her voice barely a whisper. The woman stepped closer, her eyes full of empathy. That's the beauty of art, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be genuine. Your story, your feelings, that's what connects with people. Taking a deep breath, Sarah realized this was not just about her art. It was about who she was becoming. Would she allow fear to hold her back or embrace this challenge and trust her instincts? The weight of the decision loomed over her, heavy but transformative. After all, every brush stroke she had made was a step toward something greater. She glanced at the artists around her, saw the faith in their eyes, and felt her confidence begin to bubble under the surface. "I'll do it," she finally said, her voice filled with a mix of fear and determination. The excitement that followed lit a fire within her. As they discussed logistics and timelines, Sarah couldn't help but think of Lily, who would be some sort of witness to her unfolding journey. Would she see her mother stepping into the light, ready to conquer challenges without fear? But just as the meeting wrapped up, Mr. Thompson pulled her aside once more. "One last thing, Sarah. There's a rumor that a well-known gallery owner might attend the exhibition. It could be a huge opportunity if you're ready." 1,000 thoughts flitted through her mind. Could she really step onto that stage? Could she be the artist she dreamed of, exposing her innermost self to the world? As she left the center, her heart pounded with exhilaration and dread. The echoes of support surrounded her, yet the question loomed, could she truly rise to this challenge? And just as that realization settled in, a thought struck her. What if saying yes could lead her to the unexpected? What if this was just the beginning of a much larger journey? Sarah walked into the dusk, ignited by hope and ready for whatever lay ahead, but what if the path came with new sacrifices she hadn't yet considered? The next morning, Sarah woke up to the soft rays of sunlight streaming through her window. It felt different today, almost charged with an electric energy. She tossed aside the covers, her mind racing with the enormity of what she had agreed to do. The exhibition loomed like a mountain she needed to climb, but the challenge felt engaging rather than insurmountable. After a quick breakfast, she grabbed her sketchbook and headed to the small park near her home. Nature had always sparked her creativity. The rustling leaves, the laughter of children playing, and the chirping of birds blended into a symphony of inspiration. Today was no exception. She found her usual bench, situated under a sprawling oak tree, and took a moment to breathe it all in. Ideas bubbled to the surface. How could she weave her story of resilience into a piece of art? Memories of her struggles with self-doubt and the battles she faced to pursue her passion flooded her mind. With every stroke of her pencil, she visualized the journey she had taken, the dark corners of her past, the moments of light that pierced through, and the love of her daughter that anchored her. An hour in, Sarah paused to look at what she had created. It was rough, full of abstract shapes that represented her emotions, a whirlwind of chaos and beauty intertwined. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and that made her heart swell with pride. "Mama, what are you drawing?" Lily's sweet voice broke her concentration, making Sarah smile. "Just some ideas for a new painting, baby," she replied, motioning for Lily to join her on the bench. "Want to help?" Lily bounced up beside her, eyes wide with curiosity. "Can I use those colors?" She pointed to Sarah's palette. "Of course. Let's make something together." With laughter echoing, they spilled colors onto the paper, creating shapes as vibrant and adventurous as their imaginations. It struck Sarah that this was part of it. Unspoken resilience came through love, support, and yes, joy. Together, they were telling a story, one of laughter, creativity, and the bond they shared. Hours later, with paint smeared on their cheeks and fingers, Lily looked at her mother with a serious expression. "Mom, Is your painting gonna make you famous? The question brought a lump to Sarah's throat. Fame had never been the goal. I just want to share what I feel, sweetie. If people connect with it, then that's enough. But what if they don't? Lily's innocent worry pierced through Sarah like an arrow. Then that's okay too, Sarah said, gently brushing a strand of hair behind her daughter's ear. Art isn't about everyone liking it. It's about being brave enough to share your truth. In that moment, Sarah realized that the exhibition wasn't just an opportunity for herself, it was a chance to show Lily what it meant to be true to oneself. To stand tall, even when doubts crept in. As they packed up their things, Sarah felt an exhilarating mix of anticipation and nerves. She had a month to gather her thoughts, pour them into her art, and face the gallery owner. But the greatest pressure she felt was for Lily, to give her a mother she could look up to. Later that evening, after Lily was tucked in bed, Sarah sat at her desk with her sketchbook open. The blank page stared back, daring her to begin. Could she truly capture her essence in this new piece? The weight of expectation settled on her, but she pushed it aside. What if she whispered, hesitating before gripping her pencil tightly? What if she let go and let her instincts guide her? As the first line hit the paper, she let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. The journey had begun, and with it, the realization that each brush stroke held potential not just for herself, but for the future she wanted for her daughter. But as the night grew late, a question lingered in her mind. What if the path ahead became more complicated, turning into something she never anticipated? Just as she dipped her brush into paint, the doorbell rang, echoing through her quiet house. Who could it be at this hour? Sarah straightened in her chair, puzzled by the sudden interruption. The sound of the doorbell felt like a crack in the evening's calm, bringing the day's reflections rushing back to the forefront of her mind. She glanced at the clock, it was nearly 10. Who could be visiting at this hour? She hesitated for a moment, her heart picking up speed. Was it someone from the gallery? Or worse, someone she didn't want to see? But curiosity tugged at her, urging her to investigate. Grabbing a light sweater, she made her way down the hall, her footsteps echoing softly against the hardwood floor. As she reached the door, her heart thumped loudly in her chest. She took a deep breath and opened it, her fingers trembling slightly on the doorknob. Standing before her was an unfamiliar figure, cloaked in shadows, but the flicker of the porch light revealed a familiar face, her old friend, Mia. Mia! What are you doing here? Sarah exclaimed, disbelief flooding her senses. It had been years since they last met, and the surprise was as welcome as it was jarring. Hey, Sarah! Mia beamed, though her eyes held a hint of exhaustion. I know it's late, but I had to see you. Can I come in? Of course. Sarah stepped aside, feeling a swirl of emotions: nostalgia, excitement, and a touch of anxiety. She hadn't even realized how much she missed her friend until this moment. Once inside, they settled on the couch, the faint scent of coffee and the remnants of the day lingering in the air. Sorry for showing up unannounced. I just needed to talk, Mia said, her voice trembling slightly. It's been a rough few months for me. Sarah's heart ached as she saw the strain etched on Mia's face. She reached out, placing a hand on hers. What happened? Mia took a deep, shuddering breath. I lost my job, and then my relationship fell apart too. I feel like I'm in a spiral, and this whole journey has just left me burnt out. I came here because I don't know, I guess I thought you might have some clarity. Sarah sat back, absorbing her friend's words. The weight of Mia's struggles felt heavy in the air, yet there was a strange resonance with her own journey. Here they were, two women caught in their own respective storms, seeking solace and understanding. I understand more than you know, Sarah replied softly. I feel like I'm in the midst of my own battle. I'm working towards this art exhibition. She hesitated, the thought of her dreams mingling with the reality of her fears. I'm terrified I might fail. Mia nodded, her eyes shining with empathy. But you're doing it. You're putting yourself out there. That takes courage. Does it? Sarah wondered aloud, her voice barely above a whisper. Could the act of creating mean more than the outcome? She felt tugs of doubt but also flickers of hope. They were both fighting different battles, yet the ground they stood upon felt strangely shared. As the night wore on, the two friends reminisced about old times, laughter filtering through the heaviness like a beacon. They spoke about dreams that had shifted and morphed, life's unpredictability tying their narratives together. Eventually, Mia's eyes took on a puzzled expression. "When is your exhibition?" "In a month," Sarah replied, feeling a spark ignite within her. "I have to deliver my pieces by then." "Let me help you." Mia's proposal came forth with such fervor, catching Sarah off guard. "We can work on this together. I need something to focus on, something good." The words hung between them, illuminating the way forward. Could they both find strength in each other? Was it possible to weave connections that bolstered their individual pursuits? "Really?" Sarah asked, smiling, optimism flickering with every word. "Absolutely," Mia declared, her earlier exhaustion temporarily fading. "Two creatives against the world, right?" Their laughter rang out again, buoyant and light, hinting at the promise of renewed purpose. As the night quieted, Sarah felt a sense of clarity. Perhaps they didn't have to bear their burdens alone. But as she went to bed that night, the initial excitement was tempered by her looming fears. What if Mia's visit stirred the waters too much, complicating Sarah's already precarious balance? Would their stories intertwine in ways neither expected? Tossing and turning, Sarah struggled to find sleep, thoughts racing. Ultimately, she knew tomorrow would bring more revelations, a new art piece to create, a second chance to re-examine their lives, but for now, all she could do was wait and hope. The morning sun streamed through the curtains, wrapping Sarah in a warm embrace of light. She woke with a renewed sense of purpose, the whirlwind of emotions from Mia's unexpected visit still swirling in her mind. Today was a fresh start, not just for her art but for her friendship. "Ready to create some magic?" she called out as she headed to the kitchen. The smell of coffee filled the air, infusing energy into the space. Lily stumbled in, her hair tousled and eyes still heavy with sleep. "Magic? Like a wizard?" she asked, rubbing her eyes. Sarah chuckled, her heart swelling with warmth. "No wands, but we are going to create something special today." After breakfast and a quick clean-up, Mia arrived, her backpack filled with art supplies slung over her shoulder. "Okay, what's the plan?" she said, her smile brightening the room. "Let's channel our feelings into art," Sarah suggested, her excitement bubbling. They moved to the living room where brushes, paints, and canvases adorned every corner. Inspiration buzzed in the air, eagerly waiting to be unleashed. As they began working, the colors danced on the canvas, each stroke a release of pent-up emotions. For Sarah, this was a chance to explore her journey, the struggles of motherhood, her insecurities, and above all, the fierce love she had for Lily. Her heart raced as she poured her soul into her paint, channeling everything that had brought her to this moment. Mia worked beside her, quietly expressing her own struggles through vibrant palettes. They shared laughter and stories, vulnerability becoming the thread that stitched their narratives together. Each brush stroke felt like a step away from their fears, pushing them both toward healing. The weight of their past burdens started to lighten, cracking open the door to visions of brighter futures. Hours turned into a joyful blur. "Look at this!" Lily exclaimed, showcasing her own mini masterpiece. "It's a garden, just like ours, but with super flowers." Sarah beamed. "It's incredible, sweet girl. You're an artist." Lily's face lit up, her confidence brightening the room. The simple praise filled Sarah with renewed courage. Together, they were building a world filled with color and creativity, one brush stroke at a time. As the sun started to dip low, they surveyed their work, a beautiful mess of emotions captured on canvas. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" Mia mused, her voice reflective. With the evening's calm settling in, Sarah felt a sense of liberation. "Definitely. We're just getting started. But the ticking clock reminded her of the impending exhibition, and a pang of reality crept in again. Would this new piece truly reflect her journey? The pressure began to fester, but just then, Lily tugged at her sleeve, her wide eyes sparkling. "Mom, can we call it Mommy and Me?" That's a brilliant title, Mia nodded enthusiastically. Let's capture that connection. The thought resonated deeply with Sarah. This was not just about her individual journey, but also the story they were creating together, one sown from resilience, love, and shared dreams. Emboldened, they pressed on, each stroke reflectively reshaping their vision. As dusk conquered the sky, Sarah felt a newfound clarity. The fear that had once imprisoned her now lay shattered on the floor, replaced by hope and courage. Just then, Sarah's phone pinged a message from one of the artists from the gallery meeting. "Hey, Sarah. I heard about your show. Can't wait to see what you've been working on." For a moment, she hesitated, the doubt creeping in again. But looking at the artwork surrounding her, each piece a testament to their growth, she felt a swell of confidence. "This is it," she murmured, her voice steady. "I'm ready." That night, as they finished their creations, Sarah felt a shift in herself. The gravity that had weighed her down was replaced with a lightness. Mia packed up her supplies with a smile. "We really did it. I feel alive again," she said, grinning. The connection between the two women grew stronger, a fusion of dreams igniting in a time of personal rebirth. "Tomorrow we'll put the finishing touches on our pieces and prepare for the exhibition," Sarah declared, the excitement surging within her. As they said their goodbyes, Sarah's heart brimmed with gratitude. Months ago, she had felt trapped in a spiral of uncertainty. Now, she was ready to embrace the future, not just for herself but for Lily. She turned to her daughter, who was busy tidying up. "You helped me see things differently today, you know." Lily looked up, an innocent smile warming Sarah's heart. "We're a good team, right? The best team." The bond they were forging felt unbreakable, filled with the promise of dreams yet to come. Later, as Sarah settled into bed, she was enveloped in a sense of accomplishment. They had turned their pain into beauty, their isolation into connection. But as sleep enveloped her, the worry crept back in how would they navigate the exhibition? And what if it didn't go as planned? But as she closed her eyes, a gentle thought reassured her this was merely the beginning of their journey, and with each day, they would grow stronger together. Tomorrow would come with new challenges, but Sarah felt ready to face whatever hardships might come. With Lily by her side, they would transform the world around them. Their story was still unfolding, and she would nurture it with every brushstroke. As the dawn rose, a fresh hope flickered on the horizon, illuminating the path ahead. Now more than ever, Sarah knew they could conquer anything together. If there was one thing she had learned, it was this: transformation begins within, and with love and courage, anything was possible. So, with a heart swelling with hope and excitement, she embraced the dawn and all the challenges it had in store, and now, just like that, here's where I need your support. If you enjoyed this journey with Sarah and Lily, you need to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like right away, because your support feeds the algorithm and helps us spread these heartwarming tales. I want to hear from you. Comment your reactions to the ending below. Your thoughts matter. And please, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Let us spread the love and inspiration. You know this is the moment to show your support. Remember, don't wait not even one more second. Let us uplift each other.